Hi, everybody. Celia Waterhouse here. Thanks for joining us at OnPoint Mentors. Today, we have DJ Austin. Now, DJ Austin is a holistic health and life coach, and his expertise is in weight loss, personal growth and development, mental and physical health, and wellness. DJ, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun getting to know you. Yeah. Now, I've got one question for you for this interview. Mm-hmm. So if you could share just one piece of advice on how you help your clients manage their emotions in a divisive world, what would it be?
Well, in the world that we're in now, and with all the chaos that is outside, control a lot of the times is an illusion, and we all try to grasp for it. But the only control that we can really kind of have is the control we have within ourselves. So my biggest one for clients that I've been working with everything that's been going on is breath work, is calming your internal state. Mm-hmm. And my simple go-to is box breathing, which is a 4 count in with a 4 count hold and a 4 count out. So 4 and 4 makes the box. Because that's the only thing that we can kind of control, is that we have to take care of, me being a holistic health coach. I always look at, all 3 pillars, which are, your physical health, your mental and emotional health, and then also the health that is, for lack of a better term, spiritual. The things that really bring you joy, a walk in nature, the things that ground you and root you to, that just bring you that kind of internal bliss. And that could be the small things. That could be, you smelling the pages of a book. Like it's very individual, but I always make sure that my clients are always taking stock of those 3 pillars, because once you're kind of calm and okay within yourself, you can handle the rapids of life. And so instead of trying to, swim upstream and fight and you're burning yourself out, that you're okay inside, regardless of what gets thrown at you, so you can ride that river, to where it ends up, and hopefully it's out of a pandemic.
So I have a question, because stress and pandemics or politics and whatever else is causing people's emotions to go awry right now, mm-hmm. people tend to turn to the pantry or the refrigerator.
Yep.
What advice do you have on that and our emotions and how to control our binge eating or,
So binge eating is something I've struggled with in the past because food was my emotional coper. When I was young and losing my father to a heart attack, the only thing I had at the time was food, because I didn't know how to digest my emotions. I didn't know how to process what was going on and what happened to me. But I always tell my clients to keep a journal. Not that they need to stop, the behavior of what they're doing, but keep check and be like, okay, you know what? I had this happen to me. This set me off. I came home and I went right to. Once you know what your initial trigger is, you can kind of reverse engineer it back to be like, okay, I'm being triggered right now. Let me try to find something that's different. Or actually, because a lot of the times the reason why we binge eat is because it makes us omnipresent. Food engages all the senses. So we are totally, the only thing that we are in that moment when we are binging or eating is that we are just present right there. We're not thinking about the past. We're not thinking about the future. We're just in the moment. So a lot of the times with my clients, I tell them, it's the same thing as, let's say you see a cute little dog or a brand new baby. You go, oh my God, it's so cute. You drop everything you're thinking about. And you're like, that brings me so much joy. Well, it brings you joy because it's making you so present. Food's doing the same. So if I have a client who's getting triggered, I get them to actually sit in the feeling and try to, express what the feeling is. Are they feeling, scared? Are they not feeling loved? Are they not feeling heard? Do they just feel like, the whole world's coming in on them? But then I get them to try to do an exercise of being present. So bringing it back to breath, because if you're focusing on your breath, you're not thinking about the future or the past or the craziness of the present. You're just, again, bringing it back to center. So it's doing that, over a series of times and making it a habit and trying to, kind of unwire the old behavior, because that coping style came out of a place of love, because it's all you knew what to do at that time. It was your only tool in your toolbox. So for me, I show, a lot of my clients, here are the other tools that are at your disposal, but that you may have never known. And then they can implement those and use them and go, okay, cool, I'm now doing my breath work or getting up and having a big glass of water. And then also really, sitting in their feelings that they're having and honoring them and not trying to run away from them or, shove them down with food.
Wow. And so what are some of the main triggers you think that people have?
You know what? A lot of it would just be the sense of, our like deep down, it would be, that's hard because it's interwoven with a lot, past traumas, past experiences, family environments and things like that. But I would say that the main thing would be safety and comfort, because the outside world seems scary. We don't know where things are going. It's a day by day process. There's so much uncertainty. So we need that feeling of comfort. So a lot of people will turn to food because it brings them that satiation on a deeper level along with nourishment. So it's more so just the general uncertainty, because nobody has any idea where this is going.
Right.
Or how long it's going to be with us, or how it's going to affect us in the future. But the one thing we can do is, try to be best prepared internally to handle that outside, those stressors. But yeah, it would just be, safety and finding other things where you feel safe, and even turning to a loved one, a family member, a significant other, a pet, an animal, music, anything that brings you back to center and calms you down, that obviously isn't food. I would say use, obviously, people using alcohol, recreational drugs, alcohol is a slippery slope, being a depressant. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it would just, everybody's trying to find that safety and that control and that continuity in a world that doesn't have that anymore, or seemingly doesn't have that anymore.
And so what's the trigger that gets them out of it? Where they make that decision, today I'm going to make a change in my life.
The trigger is when they actually realize that there's another option, and the option is safe, and it actually and it works. But the only way that happens is they have to try, because you can only lead a horse to water, right? You can't make it drink. But when it comes to that, it's getting that client to have that first initial moment of like, wow, you know what, I realized I was triggered. And then, I controlled my breath. I brought myself back to the present. And then I actually just went for a 5-minute walk. And I actually just got home and I took my shoes off and put my feet in the grass. And that brought them right down. And they go, wow, that helped me. And it also didn't, cause all the other issues of weight gain, indigestion, insulin sensitivity, because binge eating has its whole host of issues that kind of come along with it. But they realize, wow, I did something that was positive and something that actually, helped me, but it wasn't detrimental. Right. And the second they realize that, they've just taken their own power back. And then that's the moment I live for, is when they realize that they could do that.
And you see it in their eyes when you're coaching, right?
100%. It's like steam into ice, or ice into steam. It's my favorite.
And how important is exercise, with controlling emotions? Exercise
is huge. It changes brain chemistry instantly. And when people think exercise, because of the way that things are marketed to us, a lot of the times people think exercise has to be in a gym. It has to be intense. It has to be hard. It has to be arduous. I start with a lot of my clients. I'm like, just go for a walk. That's it. Don't think exercise and intense fitness. Think movement. And the best kind of movement is the one that you could stick to and the one that you enjoy. I'm not going to force my clients to do things they hate. I may try to push them a little bit outside their comfort zone, but for the most part, I just, get them moving. If they're stuck, depressed on the couch, you spiral. But the second I have some clients, I'll tell them, just you can just find the power just to stand up. I want you to walk 5 times in a circle around the room. And the second they do that little bit of movement gives their brain a little chemical nudge, and they actually start to feel a little bit better. And then that movement from standing up from the couch may end up, hopefully, they go outside, they go for a walk, or they just get up and don't sit in that emotion and in that state and in that cycle where, the couch can become a black hole. So, yeah.
Well, DJ, that is great advice. I can't wait till we have a longer conversation so I can really dive deep and ask you those questions.
I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.